Hello everyone, this is our first episode of the Structura podcast. I have my team member and our first guest with me, Katerina Lipovka.
Hi everyone.
And today we're going to do a brief intro about ourselves. Well, not so brief for Kata because it's her podcast, but a brief one for me and a brief one for the plan of Structura. Once we have talked about it, we will move on to Kata's story as a young gallerist, a young artist, a young blockchain art producer. We'll get to know more when she talks about it. But right now, let's dive into the first intros of myself and the project. So I'm Anastasia Lemberg-Lvova. I'm a young artist myself. I have done a couple exhibitions. I have a BA in fine arts, and I studied social design as my master's. Never finished that one though. I have worked in a couple of galleries and an art center, so I have a little bit of a background in the arts, and quite some background in the arts. And I also was part of the European Youth Parliament for 10 years. I was running the NGO in Estonia for a year, then running it for a year in Russia. And I took part in over 43 events all over Europe, from Azerbaijan to Spain, and from Italy to the north of Sweden. So it was like a pretty extensive trip around Europe. As I started trying to make my way in the art sector, I realized quite quickly that the education I got was very focused on artistic practices and making the art, and very little on how to be an artist, so how to make a living, how to understand the structural networks and the frameworks, how institutions interact. So I decided to put my EYP, European Youth Parliament skills, to good use, combined with some skills I have gained in the art world, and started this project, Structura. What will it look like? First, we will get 100 young art professionals from Europe, artists, video artists, mixed media artists, choreographers, dancers, gallerists, art managers, a very, very mixed bunch. And during the first stage, they will be divided into 10 working groups, each one focusing on a particular topic that they're interested in. Can be, for example, grant opportunities and funding of the arts in Europe. And for 4 months, remotely, these groups will be working on researching the topics and understanding in depth how everything around it functions in Europe. They will have access to our experts and partners to ask questions and get some input from somebody who's already in the industry and has first-hand knowledge. They will obviously do some research, and they will be helped by moderators from the European Youth Parliament Network. Then we get to a big forum in Tallinn that's going to last 9 days. And the first part of it, the first 4 days, are going to be based on that research. The groups will sit down together, look at what they have learned so far, and narrow it down to specific problems that they would like to focus on and propose solutions. Midway, we're going to have the first General Assembly where everybody will present their findings so that everybody's in the know, and we'll compile it into a report to then be sent to decision makers, disseminated across all sorts of different platforms. Then the second stage of the forum, that one is more practical, and it will focus on artistic projects. The 100 people are going to be divided into smaller groups from 3 to 6 people according to their interests. Let's say you have a German curator, a French artist, and a Spanish artist who are really interested in artificial intelligence. They will sit down together for 4 days and start writing a project proposal with everything from fundraising, communication, production to actually showing it somewhere in Europe. And some of our partners have already suggested giving their platforms, physical platforms, over to show those projects. And on the very last day of the forum, they will get together in a big room and present what they have so far. Then they're going to go away, and for a year, they're going to be working on the projects and presenting them. And once that is done, the very last stage of the project would then be us getting feedback from them about how it went, what real problems they encountered in the art world while doing this. And this feedback is going to be compiled into a report that then will also be disseminated like the first report we mentioned. And that's a short description of what we're doing for Structura. Maybe we can talk about the name during the next episode. That'd be fun. But for now, I'll give it over to Katerina to tell us about who she is, what she does, and interesting stuff of her life in the art world. So, Katja, what is it that you do for Structura, and what is it that you do in life?
Thank you for inviting me here. So, I'm an architect-artist. I'm from an art family. I've got a master's degree in architecture of building and structures at the National Academy of Fine Arts and Architecture in Kyiv, Ukraine. I'm based in Kyiv. Also, I'm getting the second master's degree at Lviv Business School, studying Innovations and Entrepreneurship. The last year, I've launched online art gallery in Kyiv, and we've tried different formats of art events, including residences, exhibitions, and art fairs. The path was quite rocky, and it was a great, valuable experience that I got during the year. And now I'm working not only with the Structura, but also with a new project of blockchain art gallery, which will be launched literally in 1 month. So I'm working more with technology right now.
Cool. That's great. I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to be like, because I don't know much about NFTs. Okay, I know how it basically works with NFTs, but I am curious to see how you're going to, put it together and what it's going to look like. It's just a month. We'll see in a month. But can you tell us a little bit more about your gallery? That it was not only an online gallery, right? It was also a lot of physical events. And towards the end of its lifetime as a common project, it was also an actual physical gallery. How it started and what went well, and then also tell the listeners how it died.
Not really died, but we started our gallery during the first lockdown together with my two partners who had an experience in curating, art management, and journalism. We defined some main issues in art market. For example, the art sphere is extremely conservative in any country. So it works not only in Ukraine, but as I had a conversation with different art practitioners around the world, it's a quite common problem. So usually people even afraid to enter an art gallery because they think that it is something expensive and they cannot afford even to buy at least the tiniest art piece. In Ukraine, we don't have a culture of buying art. So young generation only start to buy art during the last, I think, 5 years. This culture started to develop, but still we have problems with introducing this field for not only for young generation, but for all Ukrainians. We don't have even a museum of contemporary art. This sphere has to have institutional support. So we decided that we will start our own project. We focused on affordable young art. We wanted to ruin the myth that art is always an exclusive sphere and exists for special people. It was quite hard to launch the project because we had neither client base or financial support. That was the main challenge that we faced, and we just had motivation and enthusiasm to try our skills and look how it will work. So we opened the project with an exhibition. We thought at first that we will operate online, but the first project that happened was offline. And then we realized that we like the offline format much more, and we want to create physical exhibitions and try other formats. The main idea of the project was to create a friendly community around the online platform with affordable prices, transparent policies, and simple mechanism of buying. Our first project was an exhibition which lasted 1 month, but we realized that almost all our friends came during the first week, and then no one cared about our exhibition, about our ideas, and we started to think how to change the format, or how can we attract more people. So we decided to create not just an opening of the project, also the closure of this exhibition. So we made an art fair, and it was quite a success because we had most of our artworks cost around 30-50 euros. So we sold a lot of artworks, and the feedback was really nice. So people enjoyed this format. It was during the summer. So we realized that we want to continue with this, with art fairs. And we also had a big art fair in Kyiv in a few months later. We've gathered around 7 galleries and 10 artists who came through open call. And we've got around 400 participants during one day.
Cool. That's a lot of people.
And during COVID times, it was quite a success, to be honest.
I'd say so.
Anyway, everyone enjoyed this art fair, and but also we thought that if we're a young gallery, and so let's try something else. And we also organized the first art residency in the central part of Ukraine. So we gathered different artists, starting from photographers, video designers, just fine art artists, and we started to reflect on the industrial past of this region. In general, it was nice because we don't have a lot of residences in Ukraine, so it was new young movement. We've selected 7 artists from our gallery, and we brought them to the central part of Ukraine in one of the biggest cities. So our artists had to reflect on industrial past of this territory. We had many excursions around the city to the different factories. So the final product was an exhibition, even 2 exhibitions. So the first was created on this location. So we had just 1 day exhibition, and then we came back to Kyiv. We already got the showroom because it was not an exhibition space. It was just tiny space where we could work and also show our artists' artworks. But it was a mixed use space. So the final exhibition happened in Kyiv, and so our artists showed quite unexpected results.
Cool. So this is all the story of how the project between you and your 2 partners was alive, how it lived, what you did. And now the intriguing part, how did it all come apart, and why are you doing something else now?
So in general, when we launched this project, I didn't consider it as a business. So it was more about understanding how this cultural art field works. And we didn't have any legal agreements in between team members. So we had 3 co-founders and also 1 art manager. And at some point we realized that we have absolutely different vision. We see our gallery even in 1 year absolutely different. We started to think, how can we divide our project, or how can we use our output and split into different 2 or 3 projects. And while I was thinking about any possible options, how to deal with it, my partner issued the copyright for the project. So she made all legal documents with only 1 name, also blocked the access to our gallery. I couldn't continue my work with this project anymore. So I didn't have any legal documents or proofs that I'm a part of this project.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me how you were basically coming to what was your gallery, where there were works that even belonged to a family member, and you found a security guard at the door.
Yeah, exactly. It was quite hard to understand that 1 week ago we had a great conversations about our gallery's future, and literally in a few days I don't have any rights to operate anymore.
That's an outrageous story, I say.
But that's a great experience for me, because now I realize that any project, if you are talking about the business, you have to sign at least some simple legal agreements between co-founders. Because, the life appeared to be quite tricky.
Yeah, but I think there's also another point here, which is you really should be very selective about who you start working with, especially if you're starting something new, because, if it doesn't work with the people, it is heading for disaster. It's also my experience.
Yeah, we've made a typical mistake of co-founders that I didn't know this partner before we started the project. So one of them was my friend, and this girl, I didn't know her working style, and especially I didn't know how cunning and how easy it will be for her to deceive us and to
take away what you have worked on altogether.
Yeah, it was just a surprise for me, to be honest. But still, I think I recovered after this situation quite rapidly. So literally in 1 month, I started the project of Blockchain Gallery.
Yeah, tell us more about, it's not online yet, it's in the works, but tell us a little bit about the maybe kind of artist you're looking to work with and the concept, because I know that it's going to be more than just the NFTs.
Yeah, exactly. So our new team defines specific rising opportunities in the blockchain art market, and we realized that we want to reach the audience not only in the blockchain community, but from the art community too. So we want to create mixed projects, so including NFTs and original artworks. The main idea of the gallery that combining the possibility of purchasing NFTs together with the original artworks. So what is NFT? It's non-fungible token. It's a cryptocurrency that already works on different blockchains. And for many artists, they're interested in this sphere, but they don't really understand how to promote their works, how to tokenize them. So NFT will work as a document that will confirm the ownership of the collector on the particular art object. NFT works as a financial tool, so it is easier to invest. So you have entirely open information about the artwork, about the previous owner, about the price. So it is really interesting how the black art market now changes into an open and transparent one, and NFTs will definitely help to make this market more open. So the unique feature of our platform will be the possibility to buy NFT, validate it, and convert into a original artwork. So you will have kind of a double benefit. So you've got not only one artwork, but together with NFT. Our platform will represent different artists, including digital artworks, fine art, and photography. So we don't want to focus only on digital, but also promote professional fine art.
Cool. Maybe one day I can apply to be part of your project with my paintings and I can digitalize some stuff.
I have you in my artist list already.
Ooh,
so
good.
No worries.
Wonderful. This is how networking works, by the way, in the artwork. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe the artists you're working with right now? Is it only Ukrainians or is it worldwide? I heard that somebody from Berlin was taking part.
So we started from Ukrainian artists just because we decided to start from our own acquaintances. So it's easier to explain how cool your project will be when you don't have any information about it. I mean, in terms of Instagram or websites. So it was just easier for me to find artists who know me personally. That's why our artists, most of them are from Ukraine, but I don't want to focus on Ukraine because anyway, we have different approaches on art. We have absolutely general different art in any country, in different country. So that's why, as we think that our project will operate internationally, I will also invite artists from different countries.
Sounds cool.
I think it will develop our diversity too.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm looking forward to seeing how it all comes together. Just one thing that you mentioned is how difficult it is to invite people you don't know to a project when you don't, have a full launched website, all the information. It's just a side note about doing any project, and in particular, the Structura right now. You have to prepare so many PDFs. You have to write so many documents. You have to explain so many things. But I think for our first episode, this is going to be a wrap, as it's a wrap. Who says that? I forget which TV show says that. Well, I'll go with Top Gear ending and say back to the studio, which means that we're actually going to go back to work now. And for our next episode, we already have quite a few speakers lined up. They are all our partners from Structura. And we're looking forward to telling you more stories about young art professionals.
Yeah, thank you very much. Join us and see how the project will develop.
Bye-bye.
Bye.